So hi everyone.
Wait.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Let me just check.
All right. Fine.
Yeah, go on.
All right. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. I believe everyone, like, it's evening over there. So still like really hot and very sunny here. So today we'll be talking about building a full stack interchain app with Axelar. I hope I'm audible, Manav.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, nice. Okay, yeah, so today we'll be talking about building a full stack interchain decentralized application with Axelar. So what I'm going to go through, I would go through like the why everything started, how it started, where we are today, and also what does the future looks like. So an intro about me, my name is Idris Olubisi. I am a software engineer and a technical writer. I currently work as a developer advocate at Axelar. And then you can find me on all social media platforms at Alanesoft. Moving on, let's quickly go to like what we'll be doing during this talk. We'll first talk about, we'll just give like a very brief history of the blockchain, and also we'll explore the Axelar tech stack. We'll talk about general message passing and also Interchain Token Service. So don't worry, if this is your first time hearing about Axelar, I believe you will learn everything that you need to know about Axelar and also start building with Axelar. If this is not your first time, you also benefit on some of the things that we just shipped recently, like the Interchain Token Service, and we are going to do the demo together. So moving on, how did everything started in the beginning? In 2009, the first cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, was introduced by anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. We all know that, right? And then it utilizes a decentralized blockchain network and a proof of work consensus, right? So as at then, Bitcoin exchanges like empty gods, if anybody could remember, they emerged, and then they became the largest exchange by 2010, handling a substantial portion of Bitcoin's transactions. But then in 2014, Vitalik Buterin proposed Ethereum, which introduces smart contract development and also enabling decentralized application to be built on blockchain. So as you can see on the screen right now, you see we have Bitcoin. These are the early chains that we have in the beginning, where you can see Bitcoin, you can see Maker, you can see Compound, you can see Ethereum, and also OX. So around this time, we see like private and permission blockchain gaining traction as so many organizations start to use them, including organizations within the healthcare system, trying to understand what are some of the benefits they can leverage or like get out of the box, leveraging the blockchain network. Right. But then this is the era between 2009 and 2017. So moving on, we began to see a lot of things changing over time. Of course, technology evolves. So we also understand that while a solution is proposed, there's always an improvement as time goes on, right? So in 2017 to 2022, we began to see the likes of Avalanche, Solana, and so many other layer 2 solutions working tirelessly to scale the existing solution that we have. Because the layer 1 solution, we all know, like, they have issues with scalability, transaction throughput, and these are problems that we already identify, and a lot of developers put in effort to solve this particular problem. So you can see on my screen, we have like tons of layer 2 solutions. They're working so hard to increase the transaction throughput, to focus on speed, scalability, and at the same time, not compromising security for any reason. I hope that's clear. So, but it didn't end here, because as at this time, while we began to see all of these new platforms, right, we began to see research that is focused on improving blockchain scalability, interoperability, and also privacy through layer 2 solutions, like I mentioned earlier. So we also see the likes of stablecoins emerge, and like central bank digital currency, CBDCs, emerge to address the volatility issue, and also integrating digital assets into mainstream finance. Excuse me. So there was increased scrutiny, which highlighted the need for a better security and proper, protection amidst different acts, scams, and enforcement action. So at the early stage, we began to talk about the interoperability solution. How can we move beyond just having access to one ecosystem, which is one blockchain? And it didn't stop there. We also see decentralized finance application being built on blockchain, leveraging smart contracts, which exploded actually between 2019 to 2020. So did it end here? Of course not. Because during the era of 2017 to 2022, there have already been like research focusing on, crypto, research focusing on interoperability, research focusing on solving the current problem. But then how do we scale when we get to add more and more protocols with capability and probably same feature or even more features? How do we make this process seamless for new developers and enthusiasts? New developers that are onboarding, our users, do they have different needs? Of course, our users have different needs, but then what are those needs? Are they, are they privacy? Is cost their priority? Is security? We began to see more and more chains focusing on how can we build a system that is interconnected, or how can we have a chain that can easily communicate with every other, blockchain. So every decentralized application with different use cases and more decentralized application means that there is more chains, or like more chains. When you have more decentralized application, users get to build on any chain of their preferred, like any chain they prefer, right? So, but because we started talking about interoperability and what is needed to happen to connect all of these ecosystems together, what are some of the things that we can leverage? How do you take advantage of this new world, right? What if you as a user, you don't care which chain you are on, and then you just want to interact? So you want to send transactions seamlessly from one chain to the other. What if you took advantage of chain differences? What exactly can solve this problem where you have access to every other ecosystem by just connecting to that particular solution? And also, what if you could be where your users are, you have your application launch on EVMs, and then you want to, expand. You want to move closer to your users. You want to be where your users are, maybe coming from the Cosmos ecosystem or any other ecosystem. These are some of the questions that, you need to ask yourself. And also, these are some of the questions being asked during this period where things are moving, but how do we scale? How do we, focus on improving on existing systems? What is that solution that can connect all of these ecosystems? So this is an example of the ecosystem I was talking about. You can see Base, you can see Ethereum, Polygon, Osmosis, different blockchain. What exactly can facilitate the connection between all of these chains in such a way that when you connect to any of these ecosystems programmatically in a decentralized manner, you get access to every other ecosystem that you can interact with, leveraging that solution. And what exactly is that solution? That's Axelar, right? So Axelar focuses more on what happens, like what exactly do we need to solve? What is the existing problem? How are we going to solve it? How are we going to make sure that it's solved in a decentralized manner? because Axelar itself is a decentralized interoperability network that securely, connects different blockchain, allowing assets, application, and users on various chains to seamlessly interact. So this solution solves the major pain points in blockchain adoption. So the fragmentation across different blockchain, it solved the main pain point in blockchain adoption and also the fragmentation across different chains. Furthermore, Axelar is trustless, right? Trustless inter-blockchain communication protocol that enable cross-chain composability without compromising security. And the network is blockchain agnostic and currently connects major chains. As of today, it connects over 60 plus blockchains together. So this help connect the siloed ecosystem I talked about, and also accelerating the decentralized finance and the broader adoption of blockchain technology. So this is the connectivity between these chains. But then, if leveraging Axelar, what do you stand to get? What exactly do you stand to get if you are building a solution with Axelar? So to keep things simple, Axelar is security and decentralized focused. Axelar is integrated to today it's over 60 plus chains. And then it's simple, very, very, very simple to use. Trust me, all you just need is API connection, the SDK, relevant SDK, and you can make all these function call directly from your decentralized application. So to double down, Axelar is a proof of stake blockchain network built on the Cosmos SDK that enables cross-chain communication between different blockchains. And it uses validators to securely process and validate cross-chain messages by collectively voting on their validity, just like you have for any typical proof of stake blockchain. So let's look at what we have under the hood, right? This is a typical example of, let me try to minimize this. Yeah, so this is what the Axelar stack looks like, where we have different layers. We have the application layer, we have the layer 1 gateways, and also we have the Axelar network layer itself. So the first one is the application layer, where you have all your decentralized applications. And then in between your application layer and then the gateways, you have the Axelar API that you can use to interact within those ecosystems via the gateway. And then for every ecosystem, we have a gateway deployed that is a gateway contract for EVMs, that contract for non-EVM, the application that allow you to seamlessly connect and interact with different chains. So whenever a request comes from the application layer and then goes through the layer 1, goes through the gateway deployed for that particular protocol, it gets sent to the Axelar network, where consensus, multi-party computation, voting to verify on-chain events are being completed. After all of these things are verified, what is required next is the message to be sent through the destination chain. So if you send a request from the source chain, it goes through this process, and then after confirmation on the network, and then voting has already been completed to verify the on-chain events, then the message gets sent to the destination chain. So let me pause here for a second. And now, does anyone have a question? Manav, are you there? All right, looks like there's no question. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I said, does anyone have any question? Let me be sure we are all on the same page.
Any questions you have for him? He will show them afterwards. Any questions? No, at this we can move on.
All right, thank you very much. So don't worry, we also get to talk about some of the things that are available to you. So moving on, now that we've talked about the Axelar tech stack, what happens under the hood, let's talk about the features that you have for sending tokens cross-chain. So there are two things I want to point out here, which is deposit addresses, send token, and interchain tokens. So let's look at this one after the other. So first, if you want to do token transfer, you have the option to utilize deposit address. And what exactly is deposit address? Is a temporary solution, a temporary special address created and monitored by the Axelar layer service on behalf of the requester. So what does this mean? So maybe you want to send a particular asset from Polygon, let's say Polygon, to Avalanche, right? What you need to do here, programmatically, this option is available to you by interacting directly with the SDK that we provide. Sorry, let me just go back. Oh God. Yeah, with the SDK that we provide. And then once you call this function, specify the parameters that you need, like the from chain where the message is coming from, or like the asset is coming from. And in this example, is Polygon, and also the destination chain where the asset is going to. In this example, is Avalanche, and then the destination address, which is the destination, the receiver address. I want to receive this asset on the destination chain, and then finally specify the asset. So once you generate this, you get a deposit address that can receive a payment. So whenever a payment is sent to that address, it gets confirmed on the network and then routed directly to the destination chain. So if I'm supposed to send Manav 20 Matic, then once I use the deposit address to create, once I generate this deposit address via the Axelar SDK, and then assets get sent to this particular address that is generated, the fund will be sent to Manav automatically without any additional intervention, because the system already understands, and because it's a special address that is created and monitored by Axelar layer service. So it picks it up and then send the assets to Manav. You might be wondering, where is this useful, right? So if in case you are building a decentralized application, and then because of a great user experience, right, and you want to programmatically generate a deposit address. So if you want to send, like in the example I use, you just have a very simple UI to send Manav 50 Matic, and then once you on the UI, the user gets like a very small form, like an input field, to enter the source chain. After connecting their wallet, to enter the source chain, the tool chain, and destination chain, and the asset, the amount they want to transfer. And then once that is confirmed, the assets, the system generates deposit address that will be shown on the UI. And then you can make your application programmatically send that fund directly to that address, and then it gets routed to Manav at the end of the day. But if that's one, or if you want to return that address to the user, and then the user just, after generating that on the UI, the user will just send the fund to that address, and then it gets routed to Manav, right? Because that's what I'm using in this example. So another option you have for token transfer, while the first one is SDK, where you can get from your front-end application, this one is send token. And then this is a function that is on the Axelar gateway EVM contract that facilitates token transfer between EVM and Cosmos chains. So the first example I gave was, utilizing deposit address, which can only be done like on the front end, right? But this particular method can be done on your smart contracts, right? And then it's also takes something similar to what I talked about earlier on, which is destination chain name, where the asset is going to, destination address, the USDC, that's the asset symbol. In this case, this is just an example, right? All the supported assets, you can specify the symbol here. You can find that on our documentation, and then the amount. Then after doing this, calling this send token method on chain would trigger the action to send this particular amount from the user to the destination chain, like the destination, that's the receiver end. So let's use the example of me sending Manav 50 Matic again. So on chain now, I'm doing this within my smart contract, right? I want to send Manav 50 Matic. All that I just need to do is to, after writing my contract code to get that or to do that, I'll just add this function, which I'll be importing from the Axelar SDK, and then specify these parameters and call this function on chain, and so it trigger this transaction to send Manav 50 Matic. And then finally, for interchain token, for token transfer, we have interchain token. So interchain tokens allow you to send tokens cross-chain, build your own asset bridges, build assets that you can transfer, build asset transfer into your interchain app, and even many more. Right? There are a lot of use cases. But then how is this different? This allows you to create a standardized ERC token, ERC20 token on multiple chains via the Axelar, the interchain portal, where we'll be looking at in the next 3 slides. And then it also allows you to build your custom token. So if you have like custom functionality that is built into your own token, you can retain those custom functionality and then make your token an interchain token deployed on multiple chains. And then you can also upgrade it. So you're not just creating a new token from scratch. So if you already have like your token, you have your product already, you can upgrade it by deploying a wrapper on every chain. You can do that via the portal, or you do it programmatically. And then finally, it makes interchain token executable alongside GMP for enhanced, functionality. So this is what the interchain token portal looks like. We'll be doing a demo with it shortly. But if you want to take a look, you can scan this, and then it will take you to the mainnet. When you get to the mainnet, you see this small pop-up here at the bottom left to click to go to testnet. You can play around with it right now and just, tell me what you think. So let me pause here again, Manav. Do we have any question? Of course, if you are just hearing all of these things for the first time, just note down your question. There'll also be a Q&A session at the end. But then if you have any question at this point you want me to talk about or clarify, please ask. So Manav, do we have any question?
Idris, I don't have questions, but they're eager to look at a demo now. Like see how the messaging and aspect of it goes about on Axelar.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the last part I want to talk about before we go to demo. The first session we looked at was the send token, doing token transfer. And then this one is general message passing, how general message passing works with Axelar. What are the 2 functions that you have? So Axelar general message passing, we have core contract, we have core contract with token, right? These are the 2 methods available to you that you can call on chain. And then this is what the 2 methods look like. So send message from chain A to chain B. And you just need to specify destination chain, contract address, and the payload. This one without assets. So if you want to send maybe a message from one protocol to another, you can just call this function, right? And for core contract with token also, you have these functions available to you that you can call to send message from one protocol to the other. So under the hood, this is what the communication looks like. I explained it when I was talking about the Axelar tech stack, but to visualize how things get processed from one chain to the other. So this is an example to send message from Ethereum to Scroll, right? When the decentralized application, which is the user, triggers that function on the front end to the gateway, and then the gateway emits an event which gets sent to the Axelar network, confirmed and approved. Then on the gateway on the destination chain, approved contract call will be triggered to confirm that this call that we're actually making has been confirmed by the network, and then it gets executed here. So if I'm sending hello world from from Ethereum to Polygon, this is what the process looks like step by step under the hood. So now let's look at the demo. So in this demo, I'll be showing you a portal that leverages GMP that I just talked about to create a new interchain token, deploy the token remotely, and then transfer those tokens that was deployed remotely. So I would please, and if you want to access this, you can go to testnet.interchain.axelar.dev. So let's get right into it. Let me just switch my tab. All right, let me just escape this and then go back here and minimize this. Can you guys see my screen? Is this dark mode okay, or do I need to change it to light mode? Madam, can you confirm everyone can see my screen? do I need to change it to dark mode, or is it okay like this?
We can see a screen. Idris, you can see a screen.
All right, nice. So we have this. This is what the portal looks like. You can see so many activities going on, interchain transfers, deployment, and all of that, right? Excuse me. So what we are going to do here is I'm connected. So let me disconnect so you see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like by default, right? And then you need to connect your wallet to Axe. Then you connect your wallet. I'm going to connect my wallet right now. And you can see I'm connected to Polygon. So what I'll be doing here is to deploy a new Interchain token. So I want to name this token something. This is directly on the portal. This is what I want to do right now. So do we have any name in mind that we can use, or we should just go ahead to use blockchain India again? Is that okay for now?
It is fine, Idris.
All right. So now I have this, and I can do. Of course, this is testnet. So if you want to try on the main network, you can also try that. So I've entered this, and then I've entered the blockchain, the token name, and then the token symbol, right? So what do I need to do next? I need to just proceed to token setting. So this is a very important step for your token, right? You need to specify initial supply. So in this case, I'll be specifying 1,000, right? I want to deploy 1,000 token. You can see a unique sort get generated for me. I don't have to do anything. But then if you take a look at this is mintable function, if you hover on it, you see when active, the token minter will be able to mint new tokens. So for example, we've deployed initial supply as 1,000. But then maybe for some reason, at some point, we want to mint additional token, then we can just enable this and then specify the token address. So you can specify, maybe you have a multi-sig account that controls, like, maybe that has like more privilege within your product, then you can specify that address here. So only that address will be the one to be able to mint additional token at any point in time. But in this example, I'll just click on use the current address, and then it's going to, prefill my connected chain, my connected address, right? And then I'll click on register. So you have this pop-up that tells you that, do you want to register on additional chains? Also, you can see all the chains that we have. We have Avalanche, Base, we have Blast, we have BNB, Celo, Ethereum. Like, just think about it. We have Polygon, Zeki, VM. If you want to toggle all, you can toggle all. But in this case, I will leave this step so that we come back to it. So let me just deploy on only Polygon chain for now. Right, so I click to confirm my transaction, and then it says deploying Interchain token. And then you can see the token was deployed successfully. In fact, you can spare the ghost spell by just clicking on this. I'm going to share a very good caption onto that to showcase what the token you just deployed to the wall. And then I can now click on, so before I click on it, you can see this, there's a Polygon scan transaction here. We can confirm this transaction on chain, right? You can see this is the blockchain token that we just deployed, and the total supply is what, 1,000. And let's click on go to token page. So when you go to token page, you see all additional information like the block, the name, symbol, decimal, the token address, token ID, which is a unique ID for your token. So it's a common key that is used to identify specific interchain token across all the network, right? And also we have the token manager. So I think I didn't talk about the token manager before now. So token manager in this case, because we created a brand new interchain token, right? This token manager is a contract that is used to mint and burn token on users' behalf across different chains. So when we deploy on another chain now, and then we send maybe 50 BIT token from Polygon to any other chain, token manager is going to burn the token on the source chain and then mint it on the destination chain, right? So, but then let's see that in action. Let me click on Phantom. I'm just choosing one example here. Feel free to like toggle additional chains if you want to. But I can click on register, and I should be able to register on additional chain. So you said you can see the transaction is loading here, and then right now it's currently being deployed remotely. just wait for additional seconds. We should be able to click to verify what is happening underneath at some point. So it's loading TXN. This should not take long, anyways. Depends on the network. So you can see it now shows initialize, and then we can click to view on Axelar scan. So because this is a cross-chain remote token deployment, you can track this process from one chain to the other chain, right? This is from Polygon to Phantom, right? And then every chain, every such chain has their own finality time. You can see, you can also keep track of finality when this is going to be confirmed, which is in 8 minutes. It's going to be confirmed, and then we'll see our BIT token deployed from Polygon to Phantom. So because of time, let me go back to the demo and then go back to my interchain tokens that I've deployed earlier on. Let me see which one. Yeah, let me click on this. This is a token I deployed, which is called a demo token. And then it's currently registered on what? 10 different chains. You can see the total balance here is 10,000 tokens, right? So let me show you what it looks like here, right? So now I can just click here and then it will switch to Phantom. Remember, I was connected to Polygon, and then I can click on transfer. So when I click on transfer, let me click on 50. Or let me say 500. Anyways, we have 10,000. So, so this is the token, and then I can connect, and it's loading transaction. Before the transaction is loaded completely, I can also check it out. But if not, I can just wait. Oh my God, I deployed from Phantom to Avalanche. So take note of that. From Phantom to Avalanche, because this token was initially deployed on Avalanche. I'm sorry, on Phantom, right? And also registered on Avalanche, Polygon, ZK, Kava, Celo, Linear, and some other blockchains, right? You can see the count here is 10, right? And then that is currently being deployed. You can also view that on Axelar scan by just clicking here. You can see, let me go back here. We have two transactions, the one we deployed for Polygon, and then the one we deployed, we want to use to confirm how interchain transfer works from Phantom to Avalanche. So for the interchain transfer here, this is the transaction. You can see that we have 500 being sent. And this method was the method that was called on the Interchain Token Service contract from Phantom to Avalanche, and then it's currently approving on the network. This should not take long. So this has been approved. Now it's waiting to execute on the destination chain. So during this process, what the system is doing is that the token manager bonds the token on the source chain and then mint on the destination chain, which is Avalanche. So it has been executed. Let's go back to our code here. Let's go back to the portal and then refresh. Just refresh. So when you refresh, it's going to load all your interchain tokens. And then because this is it here, you can see the balance has reduced to 9.5K. And then we can now see 500 here on Avalanche. So, but it looks like our transaction that we were working on before is completed. So let's check it out. So blockchain Indian token, it has been registered on Polygon and what? Phantom. So that mintability feature that we enabled before, that is why you are seeing this option here to manage token. When you click on it, because I specify this current address as the address that can mint additional tokens. So here I have the right to mint. So let's say I didn't specify, maybe I didn't enable this feature, I won't be able to manage my token. The initial supply will be the total supply of the token, right? But if I specify and then I specify another address, right? If I enable the feature, but I specify another address, only that address will be able to see this option to mint additional tokens. I'm not going to mint that. That is just to show you, but I can, let me just switch back to Polygon because this is the token we use. And then I can just click on transfer and transfer 50, right, out of 1,000. So you can even see that it says that this transfer may take also 10 minutes to confirmation, right? But then you guys have already seen how we're able to transfer from Phantom to Avalanche. It's typically the same process and everything is verified on chain, right? So that's exactly what the demo looks like to register and a brand new token, deploy it remotely to any blockchain of your choice. and then do interchain token transfer or directly from the portal. You don't need to have coding experience. Just follow the instruction and you should be good to go. Let me pause here again and ask if there's any question before I go back to the slide and then we'll wrap it up. Manav, can you help me confirm?
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Idris. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I said I want to pause here to confirm if there's any any question or clarification.
Okay. Please, you can come here. Yeah, you can come here.
All right. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great. So my question is, interchain transfer is only possible for the tokens launched by the user, or any pre-existing tokens can also be transferred?
That's a very, very, very good question. All right. So let me go back to the UI to answer your question so that you see it practically. Right. You see this is the portal. This is the button I clicked. Right. You see the other option here that says pick your token interchain. So if you have existing token, you can just register it here as a canonical interchain token. So what this is going to do for you to make your token, to register it as a canonical interchain token that is bridgeable across different networks. Right. So, so to answer your question, yes, it is possible. So for an existing token, you register it. Once you register it, you'll be able to do because once you register it, it becomes an interchain token that can be transferred from one chain to the other. And then you can now deploy it remotely and then do interchain token transfer. Let me quickly show you something, hopefully time permits, so that you see this in action. So let me go to bakemytoken.com. So this is where I just want to quickly create a new token. I can create it on Phantom and I can call it, let me just say, question. Oh, sorry, I did not type. Okay. Yeah, so question token. Sorry about the name. So I can name it QT. This is typically, maybe I just want to deploy a simple ERC20 token. Of course, testnet, I agree. Let me see if I'm connected to Phantom. Let me switch my account to Phantom testnet, right? And then I can confirm. So what I want to do here is to quickly create an existing token for you to answer your question. So let's just wait this to take up to a minute. So you can deploy your own token. Like this is just a platform that I want to use to demo to deploy a very simple ERC20 token real quick. So you can see the token is deployed. I can copy this token address and then go back to the portal here. So on the portal, I can paste in this address. So when I paste in this address, the system loads it and then tell me the details of the token. You can see it. Question token, QT, decimal is 18, and then the token address is this, right? You can even view the token details on FTM Stack. Then I can now click on register as interchain token to ask me. Of course, I'm going to register here, right? Do you want to select additional chains to register, right? So let me just leave this for now. Scroll down, you see additional information saying that token that is created on the portal will have the same name and address, but if this is a custom, just like what we have, on the source chain, the token address will be different, but every other chain that you deploy to will carry the same EVM address, right? So let me register it. As you see a MetaMask pop-up and then confirm. So what the system is doing now is registering it as a canonical interchain token that is bridgeable across. So I can view my token pay and then I can see my token. You can see that what we deployed here, let me go back here, 10,000, right? We can now see it here under registered. So it's registered as a canonical interchain token. Now I can now click, let's see, Avalanche, right? This is just a random example. So let me click on Avalanche. I want to deploy that token remotely so that I can be able to do transfer, which is your question, right? We have successfully registered existing token, right? Now we want to deploy it remotely. And then after deploying it remotely, we would do interchain transfer. So this is a link to the interscan for that particular transaction. It's currently checking if gas was paid. and then gas was paid and that was confirmed. And then you can see I didn't click anything, right? So sometimes you see that button appear, but it clears up automatically. This is a process that is set up for you as a user or as a developer, that if, for example, your token gets stuck, you can reactivate it, like continue the process by just clicking the button to manually continue the process by itself. So sometimes gas that was paid might not be enough for some reason. So you just click here and then the transaction will continue. You won't lose the transaction, everything will still remain intact. So now it's currently approved by the network. So now let's just wait for it to approve and then we'll now execute. Just wait a few more seconds and then it should be fine. So it's currently approving, and now it has approved, and then it will be executed in a few seconds. You don't have to always come here anyways to see, but it's, it's always good to track your transaction. You can remain on the portal here, and then once the transaction is done, you see the status here. But I just wanted to showcase like what it looks like on chain. That's why I'm here. I think this was the token, yeah. So this is the token. You can see it shows executed, and then you can just wait. It will come up here, or you refresh. You refresh the page. Now we have this. So now let's do transfer. Out of 10K, you want to transfer 5,000, right? To Avalanche. And then we click confirm. Yeah, you need to approve the amount to be spent. That's very important. And then you approve it. And then you confirm the transaction. It says I have one pending transaction. Let me just continue anyways. So now it's loading the transaction information. And then in a moment, we should see 5,000 get sent from Phantom to Avalanche.
Okay. Once it is transferred to Avalanche, can user directly control that token on Avalanche platform, or through only Alexa it can be controlled?
No, it can be controlled on Avalanche directly. I'll show you what it looks like on chain.
Okay, yeah. That is great. And also one more thing, you said that the amount of token has to be entered in atomic number. So how do you deal with the different precision? Like on one chain, there are 10 decimal places, and on other it is 18. And so from 18 to 10, when you are transferring, then you are losing some funds, or how do you handle that? How do you handle that?
Okay, yeah. So for every asset, like you mentioned, we have like different decimals, right? So for supported assets, the assets that are like times 10 raised to power 18. So all assets are treated with their decimals. That's why when you enter in atomic units, the system understands if this is raised to power 18 or raised to power 6. So you don't lose any funds. It gets automatically calculated based on what was registered, or like what the assets was when it was connected on Axelar, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you go to our doc here, this is testnet, right? And then you scroll down, you go to the section called assets, right? You can see all the different assets. If you click on this, excuse me, sorry about that. So you can see all the assets registered, right? So if you filter by any of these assets, so some of them, they carry different decimal points. So depending on what the asset you want to send looks like, that's the atomic unit that you are going to enter when you are generating that deposit address. I think that's for generating deposit address. Yeah. So we can see now. Does that answer your question? 5%.
Okay, I see. I will catch up with you later. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question. Yeah, so now we have the chains registered and then we transferred. This chain did not exist as an interchain token before. We created a brand new one and then we registered it as an interchain token.
Right. Anyone else has any questions? We have one more question.
Okay. Bring it on.
Hey, hi. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. just like we have a Polkadot blockchain, which is a zero-layer blockchain, which connects all the layer 1 blockchains with the help of Axiom concept, right? So what makes Polkadot blockchain different to the Axelar blockchain? So what is the difference between them?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So the Polkadot ecosystem is quite different, just like you mentioned, connecting all that layer 1 solution. But what makes it different from what Axelar is doing is Axelar connects EVM chains, right? All layer 2 EVM chains, and also connects to the Cosmos ecosystem. So you can see it's quite different, right? Maybe because now we've seen like recent updates where they are also trying to, build a system that also connects different ecosystems, maybe from Polkadot to EVM. But specifically, what Axelar does is to connect all the EVM ecosystem, and not just that, also connect EVM to Cosmos ecosystem, and then continue to expand over time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I will also be available. You can ping me on Twitter. You can, reach out to me. I'll be available to answer any of your questions. I'll also show you a link, a repository that you can create issue on, and then we'll be happy to answer all your questions. So if we don't have any questions, let me just go back to the slide, and then we wrap up.
All right. Okay. So you can go ahead with the next demo, Idris.
All right. Thank you very much. So that's the end for that particular demo. And then let's proceed. So I mentioned, I just did a demo on Interchain tokens, how things are happening. But then you as a developer, you might want to explore yourself. So it's important to support everyone with what will make them successful as a developer. So we provided a tons of example code snippets that you can grab and then test yourself. If you Google or check out the Axelar examples repository, you find a lot of examples from EVM, Cosmos, Aptos, and some other examples here that you can play around with. So this is successfully created with Hard Hat. So if you are a Foundry guy, we also have the Foundry Axelar GMP example. The difference here is that this is set up using Foundry. You test things, you build contract locally, and then we recently added new updates to test Axelar locally and also on testnet. So you can play around with it if you want to check it out. So what next? I've already mentioned this before, is you can check out the github.com/axelarnetwork/support, where you can create issue if that issue doesn't exist before. But if it already exists, you can search for the issue and then you see our response. But if it doesn't exist before, then you can create a new one. We'll get notification almost instantly, and then we'll be happy to support you or to answer all your questions. So in case you just want to check it out right now, and then later on you will have like questions or clarity or clarification or something like that, then we'll be happy to help you. Yes, so thank you all for joining this session. It has been really, really amazing session. And for everyone that joined, thank you once again. My name is Idris Olubisi. You can find me at Olanesoft everywhere. And then I have this small QR code. I would encourage everyone, please, can you bring out your phone and then snap this QR code? So this QR code is going to take you to a 1-minute survey, less than 1 minute survey, trust me. To answer this very simple question about how this session has been able to help you. What are some of what is your knowledge now about Axelar? And then what are some of the things you benefited from attending this session? So bring out your phone and then snap real quick. Thank you very much as you do that. Yeah, I'm handing over the mic now to Mana.
All right. Any questions you have for him? All right. Okay, Idris, I think so we have got all the questions. Thank you very much for joining in and sharing about Axelar.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Bye.